So the recent market crash caused quite a bit of speculation in this space. Speculation on what's going to be happening next. Number one, who is buying right now? There is a very small percentage of retail actually buying crypto at this current point in time, because a lot of what we have been witnessing is the institutions stimulating this space. And I'll add more onto that here in a second. But first, I want to say, sit back, relax. Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. So recently, I saw a post from 360 Trader where he did say, who is buying down here? And the answer to that is practically not a lot of people, right? Like when we think about retail's kind of scared right now. They have like PTSD from 2022, from 2021, and even 2020. But Wall Street and the big institutions have already embedded themselves in this space. And it didn't happen overnight. It happened over years. I think back to like Bank of America, Santander, and Standard Chartered going all the way back to like 2016. But then I also think about Goldman Sachs in 2022. Do you guys remember that? If you don't, it's okay. Goldman Sachs launched crypto custody services back in 2022. This is before like anyone actually was even looking at the institutional players. That's why when we look at, all right, who's actually going to be buying here? Well, Wall Street 100% will. They drop the price, they approve ETFs for US altcoins, enter the big money. When we think about this, doesn't it make sense? I mean, think about how big Bitcoin has been since the ETF approvals. A lot of which is stirred by the institutional players like BlackRock and the big names. Like they go on mainstream media and they talk about everything that everyone wants to hear when it comes to Bitcoin and even Ethereum. This is also something I've said, right? Like these big players are manipulating the retail sector by telling them about Bitcoin and Ethereum. Meanwhile, they're actually pushing for altcoins. They're actually utilizing certain altcoins like Ondo, for an example. But also over here, we just saw the SEC acknowledge Grayscale's Cardano ETF proposal. Remember that it all starts with the SEC acknowledging these ETFs. We also know that they acknowledged the XRP ETF. I believe that they acknowledged Algo as well. I might be wrong on that. But it seems as though they're moving pretty quick on these ETFs in the middle of a massive sell-off where nobody really cares about any bullish announcement like this. Again, it feels as if a lot of these things are lined up perfectly to really kind of, I would say, distract everyone. But remember that the institutions are technically already here. I mean, for the last roughly, I want to say like 5, maybe even 10 years now, the institutions have been here. I think back to JP Morgan and, the big banks that have actually been manipulating the space all along. Like, for an example, when Jamie Dimon comes out and says that he'll fire everyone that is buying Bitcoin from JP Morgan. Like, when Jamie Dimon is telling us this, and it's a headline article, and it causes the market to sell off, what do you think they're doing behind the scenes? They're buying retail blood. It's the same thing over and over and over again. When they are telling you that a massive crash is coming, typically the opposite's happening. Now also, remember what Graham Rodford, the CEO of Archix, said. He said that we're at a tipping point. We have hit the tipping point for mainstream adoption of digital assets for real-world use cases. Financial institutions are now understanding this, and we are excited to play our part in helping them to embrace the technology by bringing their assets onto the XRP ledger. Now, this was the Ripple announcement from, Archix. And if we think about this, we move over to what was happening at the end of 2024. BNY Mellon, State Street, JP Morgan Chase, and even Citi will offer crypto custody next year. This is coming from Galaxy Research. A friendly regulatory environment will offer the banks a pathway to custody. Now, if we think about this, and then we go over here to this announcement from January 9th, it starts to make a lot of sense. $870 billion asset manager Standard Chartered to offer Bitcoin and crypto custody services in Europe. Now, we do know that Standard Chartered is a big, player with Ripple. They've always been, partnered up with Ripple for a while. Back in 2016, they invested into Ripple as well. But then we also have SAB 121, right? Like this got pretty much repealed back in the end of January. And since then, we have seen some pretty big moves. For an example, State Street. February 17th, State Street to launch crypto custody in 2026. Citi also leans in. Now, if we look at this, right, we have both State Street and Citi are planning to enter the crypto custody space, according to the information, with State Street planning to launch next year. While the timing is new, State Street's entry into crypto custody is not. Last year, it partnered with Taurus for crypto custody technology. With $46.6 trillion in assets under custody, State Street is the world's second largest custodian, and Citi is fourth with $25 trillion. The SEC's accounting rule, SAB 121, blocked U.S. banks from participating in digital asset custody for almost 3 years. Hence, State Street had an on and off relationship with digital assets. Now that SAB 121 has been rescinded, banks can engage in digital asset custody. So, like I said, once we saw the announcement of SAB 121, this is opening the doors for these big players to actually jump in to crypto. And when I say big players, I mean the big institutional players. And we actually have here that a State Street survey in the middle of last year showed that a strong client appetite for digital asset custody, both tokenization and crypto, but more for crypto. And here we actually have that digital asset strategy focus. Don't have a digital asset strategy, 8%, TradFi tokenization, 11%, cryptocurrencies and digital native, 41%, and then both equally 40%. So this is why they're making a lot of moves. And of course, Citi, right? Like Citi has been in the space for a very long time. They did partner up with Medico in 2022, which was subsequently acquired by Ripple. Shortly afterward, there were rumors that Citi was looking to move to another provider. Otherwise, the bank's involvement with crypto to date has been relatively quiet. Now, we actually haven't heard too much about, what Citi was doing in terms of, another provider or anything like that. I think that maybe this could have been, we don't know what was going on with Citi and Ripple at that time, right? Like, we still don't know what's going on, because there hasn't been any announcement. But that contrasts with 3 other banks which leaned in early. BNY Mellon, the largest global custodian, was the first bank to get an exception to SAB 121 last year. Northern Trust, the 5th largest custodian bank, co-founded by Zodiac Custody, which, by the way, Zodiac Custody also is utilizing Ripple Custody. We already know that. With Standard Chartered's SC Ventures as the majority shareholder. While Standard Chartered is not amongst the world's largest custodians, it is leaning heavily into crypto custody, both directly or indirectly via Zodia and also directly. Now, again, all of these players they have some sort of connection back to Medico, which I want to bring up and I want to mention multiple times before we really kind of get into what DekaBank just did, which was enter crypto market. So DekaBank enters crypto market. A major German financial institution with assets under management exceeding 370 billion euros has introduced cryptocurrency trading and custody services for its institutional clients. This initiative, built on Ripple Custody, follows the bank's acquisition of crypto custody license from Germany's BaFin regulators, which, by the way, that did happen back in December. It was December 17th. And we also have the launch signifies a notable integration of digital assets into traditional financial services, reflecting a broader acceptance and demand for institutional grade crypto custody or solutions in general within the financial sector. So here we actually have the announcement from Ripple, which was DekaBank is rolling out crypto trading and custody services for institutions built on Ripple Custody, a clear sign of growing demand for institutional grade crypto custody solutions. And again, this happened in the middle of a market crash, which is, it's so comical. And here we actually have the number one first announcement where we did see DekaBank and Ripple really kind of converge through Medico. This was back in 2023. And I want to put a spotlight on all the big banks tied to Medico, which was BNP Paribas, Security Services, Societe Generale Forge, Citi, DekaBank, and DZ Bank. Other clients included DBS, BBVA, Standard Chartered, Zodiac Custody as well. Now, we can kind of wipe Citi off here because we don't know about it. We don't have any more information on Citi. Outside of that, all of the other ones here are still utilizing Ripple Custody. It's only a matter of time until they all do this. But here we actually have the announcement. So DekaBank rolls out crypto trading custody services for institutions. And in this, we could actually see what to know. Major German financial institution DekaBank launched cryptocurrency trading and custody services for institutional clients. The firm obtained regulatory approval for a crypto custody license under the German Bank Act from Germany's Federal Financial Supervisory Authority before launching the new service. And let me pause this real quick. They have 377 billion euros, $395 billion in assets under management, introduced cryptocurrency trading and crypto custody services for institutional clients after almost 2 years of development. The Frankfurt-based company's move follows regulatory approval for a crypto custody license from the Federal Financial Supervisory Authority while operating under the supervision of the European Central Bank. So again, they have a direct tie back to the ECB here as well. Here we have a few quotes. We have the necessary experience, required licenses, and a tested, ready-to-use infrastructure to support savings banks and our institutional clients. DekaBank, the asset manager of the country's largest financial services group, is marketing its new offering with a focus on security and regulatory compliance. Other cryptocurrency offerings in the country's broader savings bank sector have already been introduced. Financial institutions such as the Landesbank Baden-Württemberg, which I hope that I'm saying that correctly, have partnered with crypto platforms like Bitpanda to allow corporate clients to buy and sell cryptocurrencies. Meanwhile, Germany's cooperative banks led by DZ Bank, which again, direct tie right back to Ripple Custody, are planning to roll out a cryptocurrency offering aimed at private customers by the middle of the year. The initiative is being launched alongside IT service providers. DekaBank had not responded to a request for a comment by publication time. But regardless of that, right, we also know that DZ Bank is going to be announcing something towards the middle of the year as well, which will be with Ripple Custody, because again, if we go back, we do know that DZ Bank is a direct player that utilizes Ripple Custody today. So this is just one of many announcements. The big players are here. Even Citadel Securities just entered crypto liquidity market as well. Citadel Securities, led by Ken Griffin, has announced its intention to enter the cryptocurrency market as a liquidity provider. The move includes providing services for trading on major exchanges such as Coinbase, Binance, and Crypto.com. The decision follows broader trends of increasing institutional interest in cryptocurrencies alongside a noted shift in regulatory environments under the current political climate. So now, $64 billion asset manager Citadel is going to be offering not only crypto trading, but also providing liquidity for these centralized exchanges. This is insane. Guys, if you don't know about Citadel, first off, they were founded back in 1990. They have $66 billion in investment capital as of February 1st of this year, and they're the #1 most profitable hedge fund manager of all time. This is one of the biggest TradFi players out there, and now they're going to be providing liquidity for crypto exchanges and also offering crypto trading. Guys, the institutions are here. They're here while retail is fleeing this space because of the crashes that are happening. This is insane. And it's not just Citadel and DekaBank and DZ Bank, but it's also State Street, Citi, BNY Mellon. The biggest banks out there are now here launching crypto services. This is going to scale the entire industry even larger. I am so bullish on the long-term view here for crypto. And Ripple is killing it. And XRP and the XRPL will also see a tremendous amount of value and volume as well from all of these major initiatives. And the reason why I say that is because we know the plan behind Ripple Custody is to also integrate the DEX and the AMM. They've already told us this. So I'm actually very excited about the future here. And I do believe that those ETFs will definitely keep a focus on these ETFs, because I do think that the altcoin ETFs will definitely be a big piece of the entire puzzle as well for the institutional side of things. But things are definitely heating up. And I do think that we are getting manipulated by these big players because they're now entering this market in a big way. So do not lose track of the big target here. The big target here is that institutions are now entering the space heavy. They're going to be offering crypto services to their clients. And also, we're seeing a big shift in the legitimization of the space as well by having these institutions provide liquidity services for the centralized exchanges, which is insane. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.